Če je res samo napisano in je lahko za razumeti, potem ni problema.
This Saul son and knew the Lord was with David, and that Michal, Saul's daughter, loved him. And Saruch was still more afraid of Amy continually, that the princes of the Philippines went out to war, and so it was whenever they went out that David behaved more wisely than on the servants of Saul, so that his name became highly esteemed. Now Saul spoke to Jonathan, his Saul on his servant, that they should kill David, but Jonathan, Saul's son, delighted greatly in David. So Jonathan told David, so ink my father Saul seeks to kill you. Therefore peace be on your guard until morning, and stay in the secret place and hide. And I will go out and stay beside my father in the faith where you are. And I will speak with my father about you. Then what in observe I will tell you. Thus Jonathan spoke well of David to Saul his father, and said to him, let not the king sin against his servant against David, because he has not sinned against you, and because his work have been very good toward to you. For he took his light in his hands, and he killed the Philippines. And the Lord brought about a great deliverance for Israel. You saw it and rejoiced. Why then will you sin against innocent blood? So Saul heeded the voice, and Jonathan in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the draining over in the face of the waters. Then God said, let there be light, and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from darkness. As God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. So the evening and the morning were the first day. Then God said, let there be firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from waters. Thus God made the firmament and divided the waters, which were under the firmament from the waters, which were above the firmament, and it was so. and God called. The firmament heaven saw the evening and the morning were the second day. Then God said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together in one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. And God called the dry land earth in the gathering together of the waters. He called the seas, and God saw that it was good. Then God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb that yields seeds, and fruit free that yields fruit according to its kind, whose seeds itself on the earth. And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, the herb in the yields, seed according to the lights, in kind of free that yields fruit for seeds, is in the self according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. So the evening and the morning were the third day. Then God saw, let there be light in the firmament of the heavens to divide the dawn from the midnight, and let them be for signs and seasons, and for the days and years. 15, and let them be for lights in the firmament in the heavens, to give light of the earth. And it was so good. Then God made the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He mounted the stars so also. God see them in the firmament of the heavens, to give the lights on the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was so good. So the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Then God saw, let the waters abound with abundance of living creatures, and let the bird fly above the earth, across the face, on the firmament and the heavens. So good God created great sea creatures, and every living thing that moves, with which the waters abounded, according to their kind, and every winged bird according to his kind. And God saw that it was so good. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful, and multiply, and fill the waters to the seas, and let birds multiply on the earth. So the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Then God saw, let the earth bring forth the living creatures, according to its kind, castle and creeping, thing on the best of the earth, each to according to its kind. And it was so. And God made in the best the urchin according to its kind, castle in according to its kind, and everything to the creeps of the earth according to its kind. And God saw that it was so good. And God said, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, prayer light of the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him, male and female. He created them. Then God blessed them. And God said to them, be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth. And so do I have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that make moves on the earth. And God said, see, I have given you every earth that yields and seeds, which is on of the face of all the earth, and every tree those who yields seeds to you, it shall be food also to every beast of the earth, to every bind on the air, and to everything that creeps on the earth, and which there is life. I have given every green herb for good. And it was so. Then God saw everything that he had made, and indeed it was very good. So the evening and the morning were the sixth day. Thus the heavens and the earth and the host of them were finished, and on the seventh day God indeed his work which he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had done. Then God blessed the seventh day and sanctified, and because in it he rested from all his work which God had created and made. This is the history of the heavens and the earth when they were created in the day that the Lord God made in the earth and the heavens, before any plant of the fields was the earth, and before any herb of the field has grown. For the Lord God had not cast in the rain of the earth, and there it was no man to till the ground, but a mist went up from the earth, and withered the whole face in the ground. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed in these nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living being. The Lord God planted in the garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man who had formed. And out of the ground the Lord God made every tree that is pleasant in the sight and good and food. The tree of life was also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of the knowing and arch city good and evil. Now a river went out of Eden to water the garden of the from there is spent it and became forever heads. The name of first ambition on is in the one which skirts the whole land, Hawaii, where there is gold, only gold, and the gold of that land is good. Billium and the onyx, stone and liberty, the name of the seasoned river, Gibbon, is the one. which pass around the whole land of Cush. The name is the third river is hand. Dikal, it's one, and which goes toward and eastern Assyria. The fourth river is the Inxplantis. Then the Lord God took the man and put him in the garden of Eden to send and keep it on the Lord. God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden you may freely eat, but in the tree of the knowledge is God, good and evil, you still fast to eat, for in the day that you eat of it you shall surely die. And the Lord God said, it's not good, the man should be alone. I will make him an helper comparable. So him out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every bird of the air, and brought them to Adam to see what he would call them. And whatever Adam called each living creature, that was its name. So Adam gave names to all cattle, to the bird on the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was no found an helper comparable to him. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall on Adam. And he slept, and he took one of his ribs and cleared up the flesh in his place. Then the rib which the Lord God had taken from man, he made into the woman, and he brought her to the man. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones, and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called a woman, because she was taken out from a man. Therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined, so this his wife, and they shall become one flesh. Therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become of flesh. And they were both naked, and the man and his wife, and were still ashamed. Now she serpent was more care nothing than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made, and he said to the woman, his good, and did said, you shall not eat every tree of the garden. And the woman said to the serpent, we may eat to the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of this tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, you shall not eat, not shall you touch, is lest you die. Then the serpent said to the woman, you will not surely die, for God knows that in the day you eat of it your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. So when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree desirable to make one wise, she took as fruit in the ate. She also gave to her its fruit and ate. She also gave to her husband with her, and he ate. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they knew that they were naked. And Abai saw fig leaves together and made themselves coverings. And they heard the sound of the Lord God walking in the garden, and be cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the peacemakers of the Lord God among the trees of the garden. Then the Lord God called to Adam and said to him, "We're all blessed to you." So he said, "I heard your voice in the garden and was afraid, but because I was naked and I hid myself." And he said, "Who told you? Then you were naked. Have you eaten from the tree of which is commanded that you shalt could not eat?" Then the man said, "The woman whom gave to be with me, she gave me of this tree, and I eat." And the Lord said, God, to the woman, "What is this you have done?" She, woman, said, "The serpent that caught me, and I ate." So the Lord God said to the serpent, "Because you have done this, you are cursed more than all cattle, and more than every beast of the field. On your below you shall go, and you shall eat your dust all these days on your life, and I will pay enmity between you and woman, and between your seed and her seed. He shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel." To the woman he said, "I will greatly multiply your sorrow and your connection. I pain you, shall you bring you for children. Your desire shall be your husband. Desire shall be for your husband, and he shall rule over you." Then to Adam he said, "Because you have indeed the voice of your wife, and he's eaten from the tree of which is commanded you, saying, You shall not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for your sake. Until you shall eat of ill all the days of your life. Born thorns in themselves and shall bring forth for you, and you shall eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of your face you shall eat bread, till you return to the ground, for out of you were taken. For dust you are, and to dust you shall return." And Adam called his wife, his name, Eve, because she was mother of living. Also for Adam and his wife the Lord God made turns of skins and clothed them. Then the Lord God said, "Behold, the man he became live in of his, to know God and evil. And now let his put on his hand, and take also of the tree of life, and eat and live forever." Therefore the Lord God sent him out of the garden of Eden to skill the return and ground from which he was taken. So he drew out the man, and he placed cherubim of the east of the garden of Eden, and a flaming sword which turned every way, to guard the way to the tree of life. Now Adam knew Eve his wife, and she conceived the daughter Cain, and said, I have acquired a man from the Lord. Then the bore against, this time in his brother Abel. Now Abel was keeper of sheep, Abel. Now Abel was keeper in sheep, but Cain was a tiller on the ground. And in the process of the time and came to pass, the Cain brought an offering of the true of the ground to the Lord. Abel also brought of the virgin, firstborn of his flock, and of their feet, fat. And the Lord respected Abel and his offering, but he did not respect Cain and his offering. And Cain was very angry, and his countenance fell. So the Lord said to Cain, "Why are you angry, and why has your countenance fallen? If you dare the wall, you will not be accepted. And if you do not do well, sin lies it in the door, and its desire is for you, but you should rule over it." Now Cain talked with Abel, his brother, and it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother, and killed him. Then the Lord said to Cain, "Where is Abel, your brother?" He said, "I don't know." "I am, and my brother is keeper." He said, I do not know. I am in my brother." And he said, "What have you done?" The voice of your brother, his blood cries, and out to me from the ground. So now you are cursed from the earth, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother, your blood from your hand. When you have killed the ground, it shall no longer yield. Its strength to you is fugitive and vagabond. You shall be on the earth. And Cain said to the Lord, "My punishment is greater than I can bear thoroughly. You have driven me out this day from the face of the ground, and shall be hidden from your favor, and shall be fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And I will be happen that anyone who feels me will kill me." And see the Lord. And the Lord said to him, "Therefore forever kills Cain, and impregnance shall be taken on him. 7 gold, and the Lord set a mark on the Cain, and lands one, and finished, and him shield for kill him." Then Cain went, and out from them the presence of the Lord, and the dwelt in the latest is not. On the easy of Eden, the God and the Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and brought an enough, and be built in city, and they called the name of the city, and after the name of his sons, Enoch. To Enoch was born Irad, and Sheeran, and Irad Begon, and Mahmed Shenshel, and Mentins Janban, Pa Beja, Pa Mechumel, and Mentinshen, and Shal Begon, and Lema. Then Lamech took to for himself to wives the name of the Lord, of the one Adah, and the name of the second was Zaliah. And Adam bore Jenuel, he was father, and those who dwell late thirds and have livestock. His brother name was Jamal. He was taken from father, and all those who was placed the herb and flats and in for zoo. Although she also bought to bind Cain, an instructor of every craftsman, and because and iron. His brother's name was Joshua. He was very herb and flute, and it was Zueng, life. She also bore to by Cain. An instructor in every craftsman. And dolazi iz Iran. And the cipher of Talan. Kawas Namah. Adah and Zoloch hit my voice. Why son lempo? Listen is my speech, for I have killed a man for wounding me. Even and join man for filthy me. I can't